And we're live. I was standing here putting my makeup on, and I realized that I haven't done a live this weekend or this week. Wah! It's been a busy one. It is Kentucky Camp Meeting. We are not done. I've been able to make it one night so far. Plan on going tonight to factor my health in. What you hear is my grandson. He's tearing my house apart. Not really. He's playing with loud toys. So hopefully you can hear me over him. Um, just wanted to hop on, finish doing my makeup, just share a couple of thoughts with you and see how everybody's doing. Really, son? Take that back in the living room, please. Boys. boys. Um, I've already done my eyes, as you can see. I did them I've had this for a while, just haven't gotten into it, out of the Jaclyn Hill palette. I got into it last night. I'll insert the footage. I had actually planned on, or not last night, but the night before when I went to camp meeting. Used it and really enjoyed it. The look that I created. I intended to do more filming at camp meeting, and it didn't work out like I had it planned because being part of the choir, we were on the stage the whole time, so that wasn't a feasible thing to do. I'm thankful and grateful for being asked to be part of that choir. It really meant a whole lot to me. Um, it was a lot of fun, and it was a good experience, and it was a much needed um, thing that I needed to do. So all around winners. I'm going to use some Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. I wore Estee Lauder the Tuesday night to camp meeting. Um, it's because Estee and I have been friends for many, many years, and I knew what was going to happen. If I cried or anything like that, I knew what would happen. And so I have dampened my beauty blender and also taken a little bit of Miss Dory's tips and sprayed it a couple of times with setting spray just to see what would happen. I've never really done that before. So, hey, a tip is a tip. Try it. If it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not a big deal. But we're just going to take it on the beauty blender. And I actually kind of got too much product to begin with, so we're just going to spread and spread and spread and spread. So just to kind of, yeah. Um, if you've been following me for any period of time, I don't throw shade at anybody. Um, that's just how it is. I try to be very kind to everybody. That's just who I am. Will I eventually give up and walk away? Yeah. Now, I did a couple of things that I did prior to putting on my foundation. We'll back up and talk about that a little bit. Um, Trying to figure out where to put it. I took a big fluffy brush with the Coty Airspun powder, which is my go-to. I have other powders, but this one just is my best friend. And those of you that are like me, that used drugstore makeup in high school, you get it. It does the job that you need it to do, and it doesn't break you up. But I put just a little bit of powder over my face before I put my foundation on. That just is going to give it a more matte finish, and it's going to help the staying power of my foundation. Got some craziness happening here. I got so tickled. The other night before I left for camp meeting, it was one of those times where it was a constant. Every time I looked back in the mirror, something had messed back up. And I was like, okay, so, I kept having to go back in, because as soon as I think I'm all done, my nose starts running without fail. It's like, are you kidding me? Really? And I also wanted to talk to you. This came in one of my subscription boxes. I'm trying to look. It's the Brow Gal. I'm trying to look and see. I don't think I have, yeah, I do have glasses in here. Ian has calmed down, so this will make this much easier. By, looks like Tanya Crooks. It's a little scary. It's a tinted brow gel with microfibers. It's not exactly the right color, but it worked really, really good the other night, so we're going to use it again. And if you're like me, I use it very sparingly, for the simple reason of I am not a thick brow person. If you are, then by all means, make your brows thick. Nothing wrong with it. If you would like to watch any of our services during Kentucky Camp Meeting, it is on Facebook. It's a Kentucky Executive, Church of God Executive page. It's where all the happenings are. Last night was the hard night. Last night is the night that we honor all of the ministers who have passed in the last year, and one of the ministers that passed happened to be a dear friend of mine's, dropping stuff, dear friend of mine's son-in-law, and I babysat the daughter and watched them grow up, and it was very hard to hear that he passed. But, it's something that's going to happen to all of us, so, yeah, no, it's not, it's not inevitable. And even however you believe, you're not exempt from it. It's part of the reason why I believe how I believe. I hope that if nothing more, then I've lived the best life that I could live. And at the end of my journey, I can say that I've lived the best life that I could live, and I've done my best to be a good person. Did not quite mean to put that much powder there. Just going to powder down my foundation. Now, I will tell you, I did discover something the other night, because I did use a Younique concealer. Younique and Estee Lauder do not play well together. That's not throwing shade. Some products just don't go together. Found out real quickly. I used it. A little tip: if you are like me and your nose runs, or if you think you're going to be crying or whatever, when you do your makeup, the first thing you do is you take your concealer with your nose, take your primer, cover your nose, let it sit. Take your concealer and cover your nose, let it sit. Then take your eye primer, which is this, and cover your nose, and then put your foundation on top. It helps keep you from having, this rub off. It does work. I did it. What happened whenever I used the Unique concealer the other night, I had separation right through here. So Unique and Estee Lauder do not play well together. Um, we will see how well they play with um, um, uh, whatever it is I'm using today. Um, Laura Mercier. My brain just keeps. I was speaking with a friend of mine Tuesday night, a minister that came to visit my dad. He was my pastor for a while, and I was speaking with him. It's the first time I've seen him since my father passed, and I wanted to personally thank him for being so kind to our family. And whenever I was speaking to him, I could not remember the name of the pastor that preached my dad's funeral, which is like just, oh my gosh, because he was there for our family um, throughout, I mean, from go um, throughout Dad's journey. And it's like, I could not for the life of me, while we were talking, think of his name. And then on the way home, it was like, oh yeah, duh. It's like, yeah, so, having, I don't know if it's old age, Grammy, or what. We're going to powder that just a bit. And I mean just a teeny weeny bit, because I'm old, okay? If you are younger than me and you need more powder, go for it. Little man. Room is zooming. Using the Tarte. Little man again. The Tarte Shape Tape is what I meant to say. Some days whenever I talk, it's like I can't get words out, and part of it is because I have Meniere's disease and migraine. And some days I just stand there and feel like, boy, people must think that I'm just like, psh. Well, that part is true too. Sometimes I'm not the brightest bulb. And do the same thing. Have powder in the lid. Let them here waiting. We'll just sit. Gotta set that concealer just a little bit. Now I will tell you one mistake that I did make the other night. Not intentionally, mind you, but I did. I got a little overzealous with the powder. And the reason why I did is because I know the lights on the stage are hot. And so my thought process was, I will sweat. So to kind of offset that, I used a little bit of powder, a little bit of extra powder. Well, it backfired. I ended up, by the time I came home, the powder had settled in like almost every wrinkle that I had. So, tip, don't always over powder anticipating sweating. Just take a compact with you and deal with it as it happens. Because things are not always how you plan them to be. And take a little bit. I cannot remember the names of these blushes. They're from Unique. This is my poor little smushed palette that I'm so irritated with that I haven't even bothered to try to fix it. The reason being was not the only palette that made the journey with me. The Jaclyn Hill palette was on the bottom. It's fine. My I noticed that my Unique Shadows also have some cracks. Not happy. I did order the Duets. I'm not going to order any of the Sunkissed, the beachfront new stuff that they came out with this month. Um, just simply because I think it's too much money for what it is. It's too expensive. I can't justify it. Um, for me, it's just not. It's not something that I just am going to invest in. I won't be at beach parties and things like that. That's just not my thing. So if you will, and it's something that you would use, um, then it's a super ideal to have, and a cool little body oil thingy and all that good stuff. I personally, I'm just not going to use it, so I'm just not going to invest in it. I know this. So um, I can't be any more, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. I can't be any more honest with you than, I'm trying to be very, very, very transparent with products that I use, because my integrity is what matters the most to me. My dignity is what matters the most to me, not your money. That's just how I am. I have to account for what I do. So therefore, whenever I speak to you as honest as I possibly can. And I will come back if I make a mistake and tell you that I made a mistake. Most of the time. Sometimes I forget, and that's when I need you to remind me. Because we're just going to talk for a minute, because I'm pretty much done so far with my makeup. I'm going to let it sit for a minute and then spray it. I spoke today in a tweet. We don't need friends that are always going to agree with us. Absolutely, positively do not need that. We need people in our lives that are going to tell us when we mess up, that are going to hold us accountable, that are going to say, hey, I don't think you should have done that. Or that are going to say, you could have done that a different way. That's one of the reasons why, I know you guys have heard me talk. If you followed my videos for any time at all, you've heard me talk about my family. And the reason why I do, give me just 1 second, because as usual, without fail, the second that I tell myself that I'm done with my makeup, which, see, that little trick works, my nose starts running. Anyway, we need people in our lives that are iron sharpens iron friends. Why do we need these people? Because we all make mistakes. We all mess up. I don't need somebody to stand and tell me all the time, oh, what you're doing is fine. What you're doing is perfect. You're good. You've done a good thing. No, I need somebody to, whenever I mess up, to say, you messed up. I'm thankful that I have my family. I'm thankful that I have my mother and my sister, because they are part of my iron sharpens iron crew. They will tell me real fast, I don't think you should have done that, or you could have handled that better, or you need to apologize, or you need to think about, or you need to work on. Because we all have areas in our lives that we need to improve on. So that's just where I stand. If there's something that you've got going on that isn't kosher, that isn't good, get with somebody that'll help you make it good. Get with somebody that has some dignity and some integrity, and listen to what they tell you and follow their footsteps. Now, if they have no dignity and they have no integrity, don't follow them, because they will not lead you down a good path. If they are people that say, do as I say, not as I do, they're not going to lead you down a good path. It's just that simple. Um, so today is a Thursday push through. Um, Pushing through, trying to get myself together because I plan on making it to camp meeting tonight. I was not feeling well yesterday and I didn't make it to either my home church or camp meeting. Thankfully, both of those services were live and I got to watch camp meeting, and I still need to go back and watch my home church service. That's me. You and I can disagree on things and still get along. Understand that. We can disagree on things and still get along and still be friends. And I will still respect you and still show you kindness and love, because that's what I believe in more than anything else. Um, so, anyway, remember to, it's basically where we're at today. Kind of a simple look, bolder eye. I'll put a little bit of lipstick on later on before I walk out the door because I have to change clothes and all that cool stuff. We still have nap time and all that before service time. I started to say I'd insert the clip, but since I'm doing this live, I guess I won't because I don't know how. So at some point, if you want to see, try to maybe get some more clips tonight since I'm not going to be on stage. That was an amazing experience for me. It's something that I wanted to do all my life, and when I got the invitation to come and sing, at first, my first knee-jerk reaction was, it's been a long time since I've done that. And even whenever I got there, I was very nervous because I actually missed the actual practice part, the bulk of that, of our practice. And then I just kind of I know, I've done this before. So, and we have a great leader, so it worked out really well. A really good time, really super good service. It is on Facebook. You can still see it. I don't know for how long, but it is still there currently. So I've kind of run out of things to say, and I need to get little man to bed. So remember, find your iron sharpens iron friend, because that's your true friend. The people that will lift you up, that's your true friend. The people that will come to you and say, what you're doing, you might need to think about. It's not judgmental when spoken out of love. When someone is telling you, and then more than one person tells you, what you're doing isn't right, you need to change it, you need to rethink it, you need to think about that, you need to change something, you need to do something different. It's an opportunity to grow and not become stagnant and not become old and not become irrelevant. It's an opportunity for personal growth. Whenever, you're told, hey, you might, you did this and this and this, and you might need to rethink. And I'm not shooting this at anybody, okay? This has been what's been stirring in my spirit. I'm not shooting this at any particular person. This is what I live by, because I thank God every single day that I have iron sharpens iron friends. Because don't you think for a minute that I don't have people that get onto me, that call me, text me, get in my DMs or something like that and tell me, hey girl, what are you doing? Where you been? Why aren't you? What's going on? Don't think that I don't have those people, because I do. Sometimes it's my mother. More than not, it's my mommy. and or my sister, or I have lifelong friends that I've had forever that they know whenever they don't see me active in certain places, they know something's going on, and they'll check on me and say, "Hey, girl, what's going on? Let's fix it. Let's get you back together." Those friends have come in handy in the last 2 years. I plan Friday or Saturday. I plan to do a Father's Day video. Um, I actually had kind of planned to go on panel um, with Diane, but then that was the same night that we were singing, and then it ended up being canceled, so it didn't work out. Um, but I plan to do a little Father's Day something, and I can just about promise you that I'm going to cry when I do it and I talk about my dad. So, um, we may or may not get through that, but we are going to try. Um, I haven't decided yet what I'm doing for Father's Day. Um, Part of me thinks that I need to refocus and focus more on my husband. Part of me wants to go to the cemetery, and part of me just wants to crawl into bed and stay there. So we don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, I'm going to end this because it's getting rather lengthy. If you've stayed with me all this up until this point, thank you oh so much, because it was just a message that was burning in my heart. And um, I want more than anything to uplift people, more than anything. And if I can give you a word that uplifts you, that makes you feel better, that uplifts you and helps you get through your day, then my goal is accomplished. If I can do something to make you smile, my goal is accomplished. Um, Other than that, folks, remember, I am the mayor's daughter. I love you all so very much, and I thank you for your support. Leave me comments down below. Make them nice. Um, that's been my since I've been on YouTube. Um, I delete negative, constructive criticism. I'll take. Not nice stuff, I'll delete, because I'm here to build people up, not push you down. So I expect the same in return. So y'all have a good day. Outro again. I am the mayor's daughter. Have a great day. I will see you. Bye.